Hi guys, welcome to another episode of the Real Football Talk. I have Adil with me. Adil, how are you feeling?
Yep, good. Enjoying the weather.
Yeah,
Lots of rest.
it's good. Quite sunny today. I like it hitting right on my face, as you can see. Oh, let's get down to it. Liverpool versus Man City, Community Shield, the curtain raiser, first trophy of the season. What do you make of it?
Just like last year, really high quality match. Um, you know, uh, pure Premier League quality. It was basically like a league match the way both teams played it, and it was really physical. It was really intense. You could see this rivalry brewing now, and it's getting more exciting because before it felt like two good teams always praising each other, and now it seems like what's happened last year has turned it, and it's become a bit more personal, more spiteful. You can see, the games are more physical now as a result. So yeah, it's a great advert for the Premier League. Even how many times did we watch these games and it was literally a torture until it goes to penalty shootouts? And now the last season, I thought the game was an amazing game, but very tactical. And then this one even better because it was both teams really went attacking, really went looking for goals, wasn't so tactical, and you could just see it. They wanted to put a marker down. There was no part of Man City taking it easy or not wanting to win. There's no part of Liverpool players not wanting to win.
Listen, I think they both wanted to win. They both wanted to make a statement, as in, you know what? Yeah, business again.
What an atmosphere Leicester City stadium created. I mean, that being small about it looked like it was Wembley with the big dugouts and the space and everything, but the atmosphere, the smaller crowd numbers, I thought it was a really good game. And yeah, there was a lot to take from it. You can see the adjustments both teams have made to counteract what happened last season in the games against each other. And a better quality game than everyone was expecting. I was expecting it to be slightly rusty, looking at some of the pre-season games, especially with Liverpool. They looked a bit off the pace in the last few games when I watched the highlights and watched a bit of the matches. They looked like they were undercooked in terms of they've overworked, and they looked a bit tired and lethargic, and I just wasn't expecting them to start as sharp as they did. I
think it was the opposite case, wasn't it? For me, it looked like Man City were the bit leggier.
When it came to the match, but in the build up to watching pre-season games, City looked like they planned it much better. I mean, you had Liverpool playing their game, abroad. What was it? Still in where did they play the game in midweek?
They played in Austria, and then midweek they came back. Where did they play? I forgot. They played Salzburg, where they lost 1-0.
Yeah. So, they're still traveling, and it's like it seemed like City had planned for this and prepared for it better. So I was just assuming, looking at their schedule,
But Pep Guardiola and City, they always give their players 4 weeks mandatory off, and then they slowly get them back into it. Like Phil Foden, that was his first preseason game, if anything.
Yeah, but they do it always, isn't it? So, and they always end up, looking decent. But it seemed like they had it planned a bit better. And then, not that they were far off the pace, but I'm just saying the surprising thing was Liverpool were so sharp. That's more the surprising bit for me, not necessarily whether City were, because they were sharp too. I mean, it's a great game, but I was just taken aback by how fast Liverpool started. I wasn't expecting that, considering seeing their last few games of pre-season, they looked a bit leggy.
Maybe that's what they wanted to show everyone, and then boom.
Well,
it's
Just
not
shows how good the conditioning is and the fitness plans, and
definitely.
whoever the fitness coaches are, they've got it planned correctly to a T, because they were fully ready for a competitive match.
But and that's the other thing, obviously, because of the World Cup and stuff. There's going to be so many games packed in, and it's so important to like maybe get a good start, because once that break happens, then you're going to come back. If there's a massive gap, then the other team can refresh and kick on really. But yeah, it's gonna be a crazy season with so many games, and all
Well,
the top teams, their players are going to be playing in the World Cup anyways, and most of them will probably play in the latter stages.
Well, in a normal season, I mean, the benchmark is always reach December, reach December, see where you're at, somehow get to the festive December, New Year schedule, and then kick on. Again, like it's always that. That's your building block is make sure you're not out of the title race by January. By December, by January. Yeah. Like it's like broken up into reach December in contention, navigate the festive period, and then kick on for the title, And this year is just going to be different. It's going to be November, World Cup, then the festive period.
Yeah.
So it's just going to start a month earlier, the tax. I have a feeling you're right. It may count to Man City's disadvantage because they do traditionally start slower.
Yeah.
And you could see Haaland doesn't look as sharp as he could have. The players don't look as sharp.
He looked quite heavy.
Even Bernardo Silva didn't look as fleet-footed as he normally does. I mean, he's physical. He's going in at the tackles, and that's when you know that no way to give an inch. There was points in that first half where 3-4 players were smashing tackles in on each other. I just loved it. I was like, wow,
I think I know which one you're talking about. There was a moment in the middle in the right-hand side where bam, next one and came in, boom.
Yeah, Bernardo's coming in, Henderson's coming in, Fabinho's coming in, Rodri's coming in, and they're all just smashing the ball, trying to dominate, and it's like, wow. This is more intense. They're playing this like it's a cup final, like
was there a friendly? I don't think it was a friendly, was it?
Well, it's not. It's a community cup, so it's not friendly anyway. It's a competitive match. But traditionally, a lot of clubs have taken it as part of their pre-season, but these two didn't. Yeah. And I mean, that's exciting. If this is the curtain raiser for the season, and we thought last season was what season last season was, already this season looks like it's going to be just even more crazier because everyone's just gotten stronger anyway.
Yeah.
And there's like, put it this way, last season there were teams still going through transition, a bit lost, Tottenham a bit lost, Arsenal a bit lost, United were a bit lost. Them three have now got stable management, a stable plan. So it's just going to be a really exciting season. And
it just never dies down, is it? Premier League just seems to be like, just keeps going up and up and up, isn't it?
Yeah.
But what I was going to say is, Adil, what changed the game? Because obviously Man City came into it 1-1 with the Alvarez substitution. He looks so energetic. Oh my God. He literally, as soon as he came on, the impact he made, and then obviously Nunes came on for Liverpool, and then boom, he flipped it on the head. It's just masterstroke from both.
Yeah, I just think Liverpool deserved the lead at halftime. I thought they started the better.
Definitely.
And funny enough, when Man City started to get a grip in that first half, started to get their game, their tempo, their rhythm going, Liverpool took the lead. So, what was good to see was how attacking both teams were. They're really trying to, open each other up, play fast attacking. It didn't suit City as much because they don't have the fitness. And the other thing is they have too many dribblers. They got too many. How many times was Grealish running with the ball when, Haaland's making the running behind? Or Mahrez wasn't as bad, but then, De Bruyne holding on to the ball a lot of the time. A lot of their players were taking too many touches, dribbling.
I
They
mean,
didn't look as fluid as a result.
if you saw, there was a couple of opportunities where I think it was De Bruyne and I think there was one with Silva. They could have played Haaland through because he made that run. He like tried keeping on, but they just didn't play the ball or they didn't see it. I was just surprised. It's like that's what you want your striker to do, to make those runs. And if you put him through, he's got the pace and power to go and deal with it.
Especially against the high line of Liverpool.
Yeah.
And the thing is, he has the pace on them. And the one time they did play in behind, he got a good shot off with his left foot volley. So I think, once, because they got too many dribblers in the team right now. And normally we know those players are 1-2 touch football guys, but maybe that's the thing in it. It's still pre-season for them. So they haven't got into the Man City 2-touch, 1-touch rhythm yet. But Bernardo, Cancelo,
they're also adjusting
Perez,
to Haaland, right? So it's gonna take that bit.
No, but even normally they still don't dribble that much.
True.
I mean, they're 2-touch team. So yeah, maybe they just need to get back into the Man City way of playing, the rhythm. But yeah, I just felt Liverpool looked a bit more creative, a bit more hungry, a bit more intense, a bit more focused, slightly more than City. And even though City were trying to give it, they needed that impetus from Alvarez. And Alvarez is like, a lot of Argentinian players. They play with that fire, that intensity, that hunger, that warrior spirit. And he brought that. He straight away brought incisiveness, impetus, to the game, made them play a bit quicker, a bit more forward. He wasn't dribbling around, he's going straight for the jugular.
There was one, did you see, where he played the ball back to Bernardo and then literally spun around behind the back within seconds, but Bernardo didn't play the ball. I was like, how quick he was in terms of his change.
And that's the thing. They now have strikers that, because the Man City formula was they had a false nine who's creating the space for the inside wingers to attack. Now, or the overloading number 10 or midfielder, whether it's Gundogan or De Bruyne. Now they've got a system where you got number 9s who are creating the space for themselves, not for someone else.
Yeah,
they're doing it for themselves, so they're spinning in behind. They're not creating it for someone else to spin in behind. They're creating those moves, so they end up behind. So that means just the process is slightly quicker because you'd slow it down for the midfielders to attack the space. But when it's that false nine or attacker doing it himself, then you just got to quicken it up slightly more. So they'll adjust and they're going to score a lot more goals as a result of it because, that faster tempo football creates more goals, more chances. But Liverpool won, their substitutions changed the game more. I mean, and Alvarez had a big impact, but so did Darwin Núñez.
Yeah, so did Núñez. Yeah, straight away. I mean, great save from Edison, but straight away his impact in terms of the physical pressing, straight away closing the guy down, wins the ball back, plays it to Henderson, and then boom, he's through and goal. And that kind of laid the marker for the rest of the game. And you can see the intensity he's bringing. And even the celebration after his goal, if you saw, like full on.
Yeah, I was thinking of the big Ronaldo-esque.
Yeah, you can tell how much it means
and everything, and flexing. He's clearly been spending time in the gym and wanting the world to know it. So, yeah.
But what do you make of his impact? And he gives something completely different to what they didn't have before in terms of Liverpool. Someone that just runs in there, that instinct for goal, Obviously, they played Mane, who runs through, but he doesn't have that instinct of a natural goal scorer like Núñez.
The thing is, what surprised me about, and the biggest difference between Núñez and Haaland was very clean. He evaded the defenders. He didn't let them come close. He made sure. He moved off the centre backs so they couldn't crunch you. You could tell from kickoff, Van Dijk was trying to get physical with Haaland, but Haaland was quite evasive. A couple of times he caught him, a couple of times he was able to lean on him after the ball had gone. You could tell Van Dijk really wanted to stamp his authority because it's going to be a battle for future years. So he really wanted to put... But Haaland was very good at moving off the defenders. Nunes is interesting that he's posting up. He's doing traditional number 9 work, but then he's doing what Haaland does really well, which is also excellent at spinning in behind. So I think that's the biggest difference with the physicality he brought. I mean, look, he was getting physical with Van Dijk.
Yeah.
Not Van Dijk, I mean with Ake was trying to go close. He's really enjoying that battle, and that's the thing that was good to see. And I do feel that gave Salah slightly more space to play more of that playmaker role where he could dink the ball in, and because suddenly Cancelo, when he was defending, was going more narrow to protect Ake a bit more. That gave Salah more freedom to come in, have more, get more involved. I do think obviously the fact that he doesn't play the false number 9 as well as Firmino or Mane did or Jota did. So that does also cause problems in the future in terms of Salah's output, because he's not creating the space for Salah to get one-on-one with the defenders or 2-on-1 and cut in and cause trouble like he did in the first half. You can see with Firmino there, that gave Salah the license to really, first 15 minutes, he's causing havoc. He's causing Cancelo, Ake, all of them, loads of problems. I can see that not working as well. But again, this we're talking about excellent managers, excellent coaches. It won't be long before Nunes starts playing more like a number 9.
But I do. He also gives them great variation, because in games you're gonna need the Nunes type of striker. In games you're gonna need the Jota and stuff. So they've got both now to play with and mess around with. So it's
but that's what won them the game. Exactly. The variation is what won them the game. They cross the ball in. Nunes has a header. Look like it's going wide, which in a way he's lucky hit the hand of Diaz, because that was a gilded chance that you would expect. That's bread and butter for Nunes. It looked like it's going wide, but it was a handball. The hand was up.
No, a hand was up and away from his body.
So they got the penalty, but that penalty has come from a cross and a header, which normally that's not how Liverpool score. You look at the third goal, cross to Fingy, another header. So already that variation is what unlocked the game and ultimately made Liverpool win it, because they got another variation now that you'd expect City to have, but they haven't worked on it yet, or they're still sticking to their style of play.
Bear in mind, they had 2 years where they played without a striker, and so it's I think it's gonna need a bit of time and adjustment.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, Liverpool's style is more instinctive. It's more play what you see rather than prescribed the way Man City's is. Man City's style is very defined. The movements, the mechanisms, the transitions are all very much controlled and coordinated and orchestrated. Liverpool's isn't. Liverpool's is they play a certain way. They have a few set moves that they do, but other than that, it's about players running forward, joining the attack, picking the right options.
But one great thing you mentioned about both the strikers is their movement. Their movement, how intelligent they are. Because both, I mean, they're playing against world-class defenders as well, and they're still finding space, still finding that, go through it. Even the chance Haaland missed. I mean, if you see his reaction to the shot straight away, he knows it might come out. And these things, he's gonna get goals. It's gonna get goals.
But there's gonna be so much said about Haaland and Nunes because they are elite level strikers. I mean, I don't know if Nunes is as good a finisher as Haaland, but in terms of his movement, his reading, he's just as good. I mean, in the few games I've seen,
are these the next two
been amazing.
top dogs in the Premier League going for the golden boot along with Harry Kane.
Yeah, Harry Kane and a certain Gabriel Jesus now that he's not restricted. Now that he's not restricted.
Let's not talk
Don't
about
try
it.
to act humble on the show, man. Don't try to act humble on the show. We know how glad you are about the hat tricks, and it's only
Listen.
pre-season, but don't tell me you're not excited.
When he does it in a rainy day in Crystal Palace, then I'll think about it. Let's see Friday, innit? Let's see Friday. All good scoring 10 goals in pre-season, innit?
Look, mate, the guy looks like a player, innit?
Nah, he does.
If he's coming like Haaland and Nunes from another league, and he's performing like that, you will say this guy's gonna smash it.
Yeah.
All right. So it's the same thing.
Don't
he's already been in the Premier League.
Don't jinx it, right?
He can't get praised.
Don't jinx it. You're giving evil eye. You're gonna give evil eye.
I don't know evil eye.
Martial, come on, Martial.
Yeah, well, even there you can see the difference in levels, isn't it? You can see the names we mentioned before are like 2 levels above. Even Martial's amazing pre-season looks substandard compared to what these are doing. So already that tells you the levels difference.
But like, if you look at the 4 teams, all of a sudden, it's just they all got that clinical striker they needed. Like obviously, Tottenham already had it. Now, if you look at with Liverpool and Man City, them spending, only team you'd probably say is Chelsea.
United and Chelsea still lacking strikers.
Because I know United been linked with even like Sesko. He looks a real player.
But he's not even played a full season in the Austrian league. I don't think that's something to shout about. I mean, again, there's a difference in going for tried and tested Nunes, Kane.
But Adi, who do United get then?
Gabriel Jesus,
Chelsea
tried and tested.
Who do United and Chelsea get? Because who's out there?
No, but there are tried and tested strikers out there. It's not like there isn't. You know, you have players like Lautaro Martinez. You got quality strikers out there. But again, you have to pay big bucks.
Yeah,
and the timing has to be right. You know, so it's going to be, you know, I think because of the market, yeah, you're going to have, you know, teams looking for the next up and coming star, because the money is just crazy at the moment. And yeah, everyone's looking to milk off the Premier League. So
yeah,
as we've seen, the only club that's been treated like a Premier League club is Barcelona, where everyone's making sure Barcelona pay top dollar.
Yeah, because they've been ripping. I mean, I think Bordeaux's gone into the 3rd tier because obviously they're in financial troubles, but Barcelona still haven't paid their money for, you know, Malcolm, and they bought Malcolm. Barcelona still haven't paid their money for that. So like, yeah, Barca. Let's not talk about Barca, and they say it's a video to do on its own.
I don't know why you're so touched about that. Yeah, I'm glad they're back. What a team they got. That's what I can say.
Look how many players they've bought and tapped up, even though they haven't got the money. It's just
that just shows you the pull of the club.
Yeah, it's just insane.
Can't hate a club for being prestigious and elite.
I'm not
worked hard for that.
I'm not hating.
Just be glad they ain't put their eyes on any of your players yet. if they won't go for Saka, sorry. All I'm saying is sorry.
Saka signing a new contract. Don't worry about Saka.
But you know he wouldn't say no to Barca.
You know he's signing a new contract. Let's not talk about it. But I mean, since we're talking about the transfer business, in terms of Chelsea, obviously they bought in Sterling, Koulibaly. There's rumors that Azpilicueta and Alonso want to go to Barcelona, but they've been blocked by Chelsea. What else do Chelsea need to do? Because obviously it seems like even in the pre-season, they're struggling to get that rhythm up front.
Well, they need players and they need signings. They've got a team that's kind of been together for quite a few years. It needs fresh blood. The fresh blood they got in under Lampard, the ZX and Werners. They haven't really worked out. They haven't really improved the quality of the squad. So yeah, they're suffering because not because they've got a strong squad from what they built up previously, but their recent transfers hasn't worked out. Even Havertz still hasn't really set the, you can see the quality, but he gets injured after every game. Do you get it? He's, plays one game, misses the next few, then plays again. So he hasn't strengthened his body enough for the rigors of Premier League football. So they've made a lot of mistakes the last few years in their rebuild, in their reinvigoration of the squad. It hasn't had the desired effect. They're now trying to get rid of those players. So they just need to freshen up that squad. Were starting to have an aging squad. Strange. They let Andreas Christensen go. I mean, he looked unbelievable on his debut for Barcelona. I watched the classical game and the passing he was doing. I mean, I never saw him given the license to pass like that at Chelsea, but wow, he's looking like a even better player already. So they've let some young guys. Rudiger wasn't exactly old, so they need replacements. They need to freshen up their squad in kind of all areas. They need a striker still. They probably need another creative winger. They need a central midfielder.
They need a different profile. They need a different profile.
It looks like they need fullbacks. They need, they need wing backs. They need centre backs. They need centre midfielders. They need a winger. They need so they still need about 4 or 5 players, I think. But it's not like the players they got are bad. It's just they've hit their peak. Is Hudson-Odoi, Pulisic, Werner, Ziyech, are they going to win you titles? Ultimately, if you're at that level where you're signing players of the caliber of Koulibaly and Sterling, then that means you're going for titles. You're going for the league. But you got too many talented players that just don't have that next level edge.
That's why it feels that they're all good players, but they're not great, or they can't get to that great level for some reason. Whatever it might.
I mean, I was reading a post, something what Balak said about Werner, and he goes, Werner is too kind or too shy for Chelsea, and Chelsea is that type of mentality. It's ruthless. It's eat or be eaten. That's how it is. You got to go in there. There's no hand-me-downs. There's no building you up. There's no, look at the amount of youngsters they have. How many of them actually break through? Other than Mount, no one really breaks. It's a kill or be killed mentality there, and you got to go in there with that fight. And if you don't have it, you'll just be a bit part player, and then next thing sold off eventually.
Do you reckon Gallagher will play a big part this season for Chelsea? I mean, he had a wonderful season last season with Palace.
I think he'll be playing games for them. Yeah, I think they need someone like Gallagher. There's a lack of energy in that midfield. Kante can't go on forever. So,
scored a great goal, by the way.
Good finish. So I think they needed that energy. Whether he had the discipline, because ultimately he was given a kind of 10 free role where he could press wherever and hunt wherever. We know Tuchel's system is a lot more, strategic, a lot more planned. The pressing is a lot more planned. So I don't know how he'd fare doing it from midfield rather than the 10, because you got Mount and all of them eating that space already. So I hope they give him a chance. They definitely need his energy off the ball, and it's just a question of whether he's good enough on the ball in a possession style game.
No, definitely, I agree. But I mean, that's enough of Chelsea. In terms of United, we briefly spoke about it. What else do they need? Who else do they? I mean, the De Jong transfer is going to go towards the end of the season, it seems like.
It seems more like it's not happening. So I just think they're going back 2 or 3 seasons, in the sense that they're going totally back to whatever the manager wants, which is fine. I understand you wanna build that trust, that link. You want to back your manager, but at the end of the day, the manager isn't always right, and this obsession with ex-Ten Hag players is over the top. We're paying stupid money for so many players, like, you know, over the odds for Lisandro Martinez, you know, as good as he looks, or he may be, he's not 57 million or 55 million. You know, it's getting to a point where it's too desperate, and you're not a big club. Look at the efficiency of which City, Liverpool, even Tottenham now, you know, top managers bring a respect to the club where they're happy to say no, see you later to a player or to an agent when they think they're too bigger than the club or they're taking the piss. United aren't bringing that quality. And that's what worries me, is at the end of the day, if Ten Hag has real winning mentality, then listen, why are you being so desperate to get your own players in? At the end of the day,
but surely there's other alternatives out there that's good enough to.
There's loads. There's loads.
You know what I mean?
Desperate. They're just too desperate. And I just think that if there is any criticism, I've been impressed with everything I've seen from Ten Hag. That is the only criticism I have, is he doesn't back himself enough or to trust his ability to work with different players. That's the way I see it, because why are you so desperate, and why are you making Man United so desperate for players who are elite level, but you're paying elite level prices? You know, we've paid more for Lisandro Martinez than Man City have paid for Haaland. Think about that. That's you know, it doesn't make sense. You know, they're trying to get 80-odd million for Anthony.
Yeah,
the guy's nowhere near Rafinha's level.
Yeah, 80 million. Yeah, no,
he's back up to Rafinha in the Brazil squad.
Yeah.
You know, so I just think his desperation to work with these type of players is a weakness I've seen. It's not big winning mentality. Look at the Conte. He always liked signing his players previously, but he said no to when Inter wanted too much money. And now what? He's got Perisic on a free. He's getting players cheap. He's getting his type of players, his market players, but he's willing to work with the new ones.
Yeah.
He's not being desperate. That brings a quality to the club, a respect to the club in future transfer windows. Right now, you know, nothing's changed. Woodward's gone, and every single agent still believe they could take the mick and milk Man United.
But Adi, in terms of the transfers, what do they need? They need another midfielder and a striker, would you say?
They need midfielder, striker. You know, there's loads of areas that need strengthening.
Priority before.
Yeah, obviously, priority will be a striker. I would say a winger. I mean, look, Sancho was, you know, got ill, and then you got Elanga starting, and you just see, you know, as much as a hard worker he is, he's just not top 6 quality. So they need a winger, I would say, a centre midfielder, definitely, at least one more defensive midfield. But they've got a lot to do. Promising start. They're doing things, you know, they're progressing things. But yeah, I mean, Eriksen looks already what a sign. I mean, the 20 minutes he was on against Atletico Madrid, he's done more in that 20 minutes than Bruno Fernandes has done in the whole of pre-season. He created more havoc in that 20 minutes than the whole of what I've seen.
You made some damning verdicts, you know. You might need to do
just
some
say how it is. We just say it how it is. It's the truth. I'm not saying Bruno Fernandes ain't gonna smash it. I'm just saying for pre-season, he's fitted into the system better than Bruno Fernandes already.
In terms of the other team you mentioned, Adi, we briefly spoke about Tottenham. I mean, they've been ruthless in the market as well. Do they need anything else? Do they need to do any other business? Because obviously they bought in another midfielder, they bought in a winger. What else do they need to do? And also fullbacks in Spence.
Yeah, I mean, they've done a lot of signings. I think they've addressed the areas that they need. Conte still wants more, and that's Conte for you. He always wants more. So I think they've done really good business, good price, and they're really strengthening their squad. You can tell they are trying to not just focus on the league, they want to do well in the cups. And thing is, that's the way Tottenham have to build up. If you are Tottenham, you're not going to jump from winning nothing to the league straight away.
Definitely
So
not.
you have to win the winning culture and the belief system to targeting one of the cups. And now you can only target the cups if you have a really strong squad. Look at what Liverpool were able to do last season. So, and City have been able to do for many seasons, which is go deep in the cups because they have a huge squad. The quality doesn't go down when you're rotating.
This is what surprised me, Adil. Sorry
Mm.
to cut you off. This is what surprised me is that a lot of the managers that came into Tottenham, they never really tried going for the cups for some reason, and always didn't prioritize that. But why not build by winning a cup and two, and then so build on and bring that momentum and change that mentality of the whole squad?
Well,
Because it seems like they didn't do that throughout the whole.
Let's be honest. I don't think it's for the want of the managers. It's Levy. Levy was in charge before. He never understood the concept of having a strong squad. He'd invest in first team players and then young players who most of them, once Pochettino was gone, weren't making the grade or the jump up. You know, shows how good Pochettino was, that a lot of the young players they brought, he turned them into first team regulars. But every other manager since has struggled to work with those young players. So I don't think it's anything to do with those managers or targeting it. Like I said, you to win cups, you have to rotate. You have to play your second string, because at the end of the day, there is such a thing as struggling in the league, and you know, if you're tired because you're playing your first team in the cup, it will affect your league performance. And you know, Tottenham could go to finals. Look what happened to Mourinho. He got sacked. He got to a final, but ultimately their league position was 8th or 9th at the time. Got sacked. So the league is still important, and every manager knows that, and every manager really knows the importance of being challenging for the Champions League places. So that's why a lot of those managers weren't able to, because the squad isn't strong enough. Now what Conte has done is he's strengthened the squad. He's got players like already, because you're thinking, okay, they already got Højbjerg, they already got Betancourt, they're getting Bissouma in. They already got Richarlison, Kulusevski, Kane, Song. You know, they still brought Richarlison. So they're strengthening their squad. They're going for left backs and right back. They already got Doherty. They already got Emerson. They got Jed Spencer. They got Reguilon. I think they're looking to sell, but they got Sessegnon still there. Perisic, Ben Davies can go. They got Langley. So now they've added backups to every position. So that tells me they're doing things the right way. Target one of the cups. Target the is it still called the Carabao Cup or League Cup?
Carabao Cup, yeah.
Yeah. So I remember when it was called the Littlewoods Cup or something. Yeah.
Littlewoods, wow. Okay.
So they're going for that, and you know, when I look back at the last era of Ferguson, they were 2 or 3 years without winning nothing. The first cup that Ronaldo and Rooney and all of them won was the Carabao Cup.
Yeah.
And they didn't win it convincing. I think they beat Cardiff like straight past or something.
I think it doesn't matter. Winning is winning. You still know how much of a difference.
What did they do the next season? They learned how to win. The pressure of winning something just released them, and the next thing they won the double.
Yeah.
So that's what it comes down to, is you got to learn how to win first before you can really target the leagues. You know, not many teams can go from not winning anything straight to winning the league.
No, definitely.
So, you know, only team, and that's a freak, was Leicester City, you know. You get it, and so I just think, yeah, they're doing things the right way. They should look like they know what they're doing.
Do they need to strengthen anyone else or bring anyone else in? Do you reckon?
I think they want to. I think they want to still. They're still looking at maybe a creative midfielder. Like, so he you know, Conte's system, he always likes a playmaker that he turns into a midfielder, gives them slightly free role, like an Eriksen, or you know, in previous he's always had that trump card, that player that is creative in the middle.
Sure.
So I think they might look for that, but they know that's a luxury position, so they'll look for that maybe later. That's what they're trying to sell Lo Celso. and they're trying to get rumors of Zaniolo. So he's
Ooh, that's a
he is
good one.
looking for that playmaker who can unlock the team a defense from midfield. And then he's also, I think, looking to get another centre back in to pressure up possibly Sanchez or so Dyer, whoever. Really, they've got cover for Ben Davis with Langley, or Langley is Ben Davis now his cover. So yeah, they probably need another defender on the right hand side.
For what? Romero, yeah.
Yeah, Romero, or because Sanchez is the backup. They
Yeah.
don't fill you with the most confidence. So yeah, I think they maybe look for one more centre back. So they're looking solid.
That's good. Had a good preseason as well, I think. So it's
Yeah, well,
looking really
they
good
lost their last game, so
against Mourinho.
yeah. So yeah, but they look solid. We've seen what the work they've done. They should start super fit.
No, the reason why I said they do look solid, because I watched like the game against Rangers and stuff, and you can see what they're trying to do and how they're building up their intensity. So you can see what they're trying to do in that sense. Let's move on to their bitter rival, Arsenal. What do you make of them? What do they need to do? Because Arteta, when asked about the question about bringing in more players, he kind of left it open that if they could move on enough players, he's looking to bring in a few more.
Yeah, I mean, what you can say is the strength in the squad isn't there with Arsenal. You can see when Saka gets injured, it's Pepe. You can see there is a level difference between the first team and the backups. And even though they're good players, again, it's about players who are playing with that level of intensity to win titles, playing to win, rather than playing to play well and playing to win. When you're not playing well, that's a different mindset. So I just think, he wants more players. They've had a massive transition over the last few years. You're now starting to see the fruits of that with the players they're going for. And I just think the mentality Gabriel Jesus has brought has just, it's like the Cantona effect when Cantona went to United. He brought that mentality, that killer instinct, that standard. You can tell a lot of Arsenal's preseason success is down to the energy and the mentality and the excitement that Gabriel Jesus has brought, and he's carrying that mindset. He's bringing that Man City mindset to Arsenal, and you can tell he's rubbing off on the players a lot. And it could be one of those inspirational signings, a Patrick Vieira type of signing where one guy really has that gravitas to transform the whole club and the way they see and go for things and their preparation.
He also seems like really fitted in well with the squad as well and the players, etc. So it seems like a great bond.
Yeah, I mean, I think Arsenal is always one of those clubs where, it's always a good environment at the club. Arsene Wenger has done a lot to make sure that there's foundations in place where everyone is respected, everyone's looked after, everyone, it's still got that family feel. You never hear a player who leaves have bad word to say about the way they've been treated. There's a way Arsenal operates that I think all new players fit in and adjust and can get involved, because it's always got good culture, nice environment. So I'm not surprised by that. Plus, Gabriel Jesus, everyone can know if you watch any of the shows, you could tell he's the ultimate teammate. He's a really good character, humble player, quality signing, really. And I just feel he seems like, transformational type of player. He's transforming the club, the ambition, the mentality.
I'll tell you what my worry is.
He's bigger than just a signing.
I'll tell you what my worry is. Yeah, my worry is if Saka gets injured, or like you said, if Gabriel gets injured, that's it. We're done. We're done. Do you know what I mean? Because we haven't.
I don't know. I mean, I think that's. Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, any club losing their main striker will suffer. But even looking at pre-season, Nketiah has looked really good. You can tell he's playing quite similar style to Gabriel Jesus, as in he's playing that false nine style. He's creating a lot of space for other people. These are things he weren't doing before. He seems to have taken a half a step at least, step forward.
But
so
can he bridge that gap though to cover Jesus to that level? That's my biggest question.
I mean, that question mark will always be there, and we won't know. But at the end of the day, that's with any club. Any club, no one's got a ready-made replacement. Everyone's having to adjust. Do you get it? Your main striker is your main striker. Not many teams have two main strikers anymore because it's hard to keep them happy.
Yeah, definitely.
So I think that's the worry for any team when a key player is out. And yeah, maybe Arsenal aren't prepared as well as other teams because they haven't maybe got the squad strength in depth. But I think if Saka got injured, you brought who is Vieira. You still got Pepe in the system. You got players, to replace Saka, I think. But yeah, if Gabriel Jesus, then you're relying on Nketiah. And at the end of the day, he was playing the back end of last season, and yeah, there's still question marks about whether he's a prolific goal scorer. But if he's playing that false nine style a bit more, then the onus becomes more on other players like Saka and Martinelli chipping in. So I do, we've forgotten about Smith Rowe in all of this, So they still got options. So I think, like with most teams, once the first two players go, they're going to worry in it. I mean, look, who's covered for most eventualities? You could say it's just Liverpool,
Man City,
and Tottenham now.
Yeah,
Kane gets injured. They still got Ricardo. They still got a few good strikers there.
Yeah,
not as prolific as Kane though.
No,
you look at, I would say Chelsea, Arsenal, and United are in precarious positions. Sense that once their first team goes, a key player goes, they struggle.
Yeah.
They don't look the same.
With regards to Arsenal, what do you make of the announcement of Martin Odegaard becoming the captain?
Yeah, I had a feeling that might come up.
Gonna happen.
He's clearly like a teacher's pet, isn't it? That's what it reminds me of. It's like he's the guy who does everything that's asked. First in line, first in queue. When the question comes up, puts his hands up. Yes, Mr. this and this. And because he's got that technical background, he clearly understands the system, and he's a model professional. Basically, he's a model professional. Whether he has that edge, I'd like to see
the psyche,
him. I'd like to see him in the battle that the Liverpool and the City players were in yesterday, and to see whether he gets stuck in. But apparently he does. So, and I did see sometimes he wasn't afraid to put his body in. It's just not every time. So let's see. It's an interesting one. You think they had Ben White there. You got Gabriel, who looks like a character. You got.
I think the issue with Gabriel. I think issue with Gabriel is the fact that his English ain't great, so that's why he's been ruled out.
Yeah, or even Ramsdale looks like a, Nah,
Adi, please, he's too.
So I'm just saying.
So
hold on. So you're telling me, yeah, Odegaard. You're saying please on Ramsdale and okay with Odegaard.
I'm saying no to both.
Yeah, but all right, between two, who's more captain material in your opinion, Odegaard or Ramsdale?
Probably Ramsdale, but like I said, he needs to. No, but you're not
just highlighting that.
You're not understanding my point. I'm trying to make. Okay, what I'm saying is, we need to make Ramsdale realize is like all of that electricity is good, but we need to sometimes know when to do and when not to do it, and tame that in.
Well, the guy's got mentality. He's got.
The guy's just crazy, insane, man.
Yeah, but now you got the total opposite. You got a robot. You got a robot who has no emotion. He's an AI robot. Just does everything 6 out of 10, and on a good day 7 or 8 out of 10. Rarely will you see a 9 or a 10 out of 10,
Oh,
and he's your captain.
Allow it, okay. Listen, Harry Maguire.
Yeah, well, we finally found someone who's below Harry Maguire as a captain. Odegaard for Arsenal. Thank you, Arsenal. I can see, so if things start going bad for Arsenal, I can just see the abuse Odegaard will get.
But I do you know what I really for me, I said it even last season. I think I done a talk with in a different program, and I was telling them we go all the young players, etc. We need to bring in also a few players that have experience or like like been places and done stuff, the know-how to actually bring in that match experience that they need to ride through difficult games, be that leader or be their focal point. And I think that's what's missing from the squad. And I think that's what's going to hold us back in big games and big moments where you need someone to stand up. We're gonna be
listening to the praise this recent signing has got. Is it Zinchenko that player?
Listen, I think you just want me to cut the video off or something.
Why? The praise Arteta's given him. I was thinking he's a World Cup winner at one point. I was thinking he must have been the main reason why City been winning these titles.
Listen,
I mean, I've never seen a squad player that barely played get praised and rated as highly as I've seen Zinchenko. Some of the times I had to like, blink, clean my eyes out, my glasses out again, and just scroll back to the top of the article. Zinchenko here.
This will answer your question. Is a backup to Kieran Tierney, okay? So,
well, the way they built him up is like he's the superstar of Arsenal now. He's the guy missing piece of the jigsaw.
I don't know.
Let's see. I mean, the praise is surprising. The level of praise, clearly, he must have shown a lot during the training sessions at Man City with Arteta, but we haven't seen it.
We don't know in the background.
Maybe he's just been a case of not being given a chance, but that's good. I'm interested to see what a big part Zinchenko plays, especially if you're paying that type of money. I don't see him being a backup. I got a feeling he's going to play midfield a bit more than people think, and I have a feeling long term they may be getting him ready to be the successor to Xhaka in that midfield role.
I'm already peed off with one guy. Don't bring another guy to be peed off with already.
That's how it is. That's Arsenal for you, isn't it? I mean, like I said, they're going to be interesting things to see. Only thing I will predict, and I do know, is 1 week till the season starts, there'll be some signings, and then once the season starts, there's gonna be so many panic signings. It's unbelievable. Watch to think there's another 3 weeks or 4 weeks of the transfer window. Watch all the relegation clubs who start off crap will start spending stupid money on players. Other clubs are gonna panic. Basically, that last month, once the season starts, you're gonna see the transfer window take a different level of panic, and you just know that. You can just tell a lot of clubs have more money. They haven't exactly spent all the money that they've got, and they're gonna just start panic buying. You're gonna see some crazy deals, crazy money going on, and these European clubs are gonna be milking it.
I hope so. Hope they take some of our deadwoods for good money.
I think a lot of loan exits are going to happen. I can't see many clubs signing players.
Yeah.
Reality is, the English clubs waste a lot of money, and most of the European clubs are more prudent.
No,
that's just how it is. So,
it's been a pretty good model.
Will continue.
Yeah. They got money to burn, so why not burn it, eh?
Yeah, it'll make for an exciting start to the season. It's already going to be exciting, but then with the transfer window still open,
I'm already buzzed by the Premier League season. All right, just watching yesterday's game. Could you imagine how it's going to be?
yeah, and it's definitely got that feel of, people are gonna those. I got a feeling next year, the top 6 games against each other are going to be a lot more intense, a lot more physical. Last year there were good games, attacking games, and there were some just tactical games. I got a feeling next season a lot of teams are going to put more emphasis on those games. Ultimately, that was the difference.
But Adi, also the other thing of bringing in 5 fresh new players, that's just going to re-energize the whole team again. And it's like continual thing, isn't it?
Well, again, and that's why those clubs who are strengthening their squads are going to be in a better position, because they're not going to be giving charity minutes away. Like sometimes with Pep, he's only putting players on once the game's done, just to keep them happy. But up until then, it's not that type of, you know, that some clubs are like Klopp will make changes when it's necessary.
Yeah.
At key moments to change the dynamics of the match. You know, Conte will do that. And they've got the squad to bring like for like on. Obviously, so does Pep. So that's where I think that squad emphasis is going to make a huge difference next year. So definitely Arsenal, United, and Chelsea have a lot of work to strengthen their squads if they want to utilize.
So are you saying them 3 are the top 3? I do. Tottenham, Tottenham, City, and Liverpool.
I would say they're shoo-in for the top 4. Yeah, personally, I would say that. I wouldn't question that.
Oh, hard for us, man. On that note,
but that's just you know, I haven't really thought about it. That's just me just going by the managers, really. That how I rate the managers and how I think they always get the best out of their teams.
Look, man, you know what you're gonna get with Spurs, man.
You gotta remember, you know, it might be different with Tottenham. There's still question marks because they're not great. You know, Conte hasn't got a great record in Europe. Number 1, number 2. You know, they were in the Conference League last year. They didn't have to prioritize that. This year, Champions League, you can't rotate as much as easy. So there are challenges for teams like Tottenham. So I wouldn't say shooting. I'm just saying off the top, you know.
Yeah, no, I know what you mean.
That's what I would say. But yeah, come next week when we actually start giving our predictions, it might be different.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. On that note, do keep an eye out for that video. And for those of you watching, thank you for watching. Please make sure you like, share, subscribe, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you.